wasn't Polaris, not Honda, or even Yamaha. Hell, not even Can-Am. But yes, Suzuki. Suzuki started it all with this. Let's dive into this episode of Let's Rip on the Suzuki LT series, the machine that started them all. Even though this was the first ATV ever, we must go back even further before the birth of this machine. Let's rewind to 1967 when you had this. The Sperry brand Tri-Kart. Developed in 1967 and produced in 1968, this was technically the first ATC. Featuring an all fiberglass body, featuring a 230 two-stroke air-cooled mill. It was something the world has never seen before. However, it was short-lived, and then we ended up getting this. The Honda US 90 or ATC 90. The US 90 officially made its debut in late 1970, officially becoming the ATC 90. With Honda trademarking ATC, all-terrain cycle. It was a big deal. Even Hollywood took notice. This machine was even featured in James Bond. Yes, it hit the silver screen. It was a big star while being rode by Sean Connery. It had no real suspension. The only suspension it really got was just by the balloon tires that were on it. Most of it was done by your legs and other bodywork. It was the all-new off-road concept that got people out to play. And that's where everything technically starts. As time went on, more and more manufacturers ended up making ATCs. They were becoming all the rage in the late 70s and even the 80s, but that would all soon be coming to an end. As other manufacturers started jumping into the game of ATCs, and everybody starting to make something a little more wild and crazy, and people really starting to have a real affectionate bond to these machines. Unfortunately, the biased news and biased opinions ended up destroying this heavy, fun activity.
One who has one. They've been around a while, but their popularity has soared now over the last 3 years, and they're now the in thing for many kids. But there is increasing evidence that ATVs may have design characteristics contributing to thousands of serious accidents and over 100 fatal accidents. If you or a family you know has an ATV or ATC, I urge you to pay close attention to Tom Gerald's.
6 years ago, the Honda Corporation decided to create a whole new sport. It took the three-wheel motorcycle known as an all-terrain vehicle, or ATV, which had been around since 1970 as a farm and utility vehicle, and spent tens of millions of dollars to market it as a plaything the whole family could use out in the woods, on dirt roads, and in the desert, away from the hustle and bustle of street traffic. In just 5 years, the 4 leading motorcycle manufacturers, all Japanese, sold 2.5 million of them in this country alone. The trouble is that during an ATV's average lifespan of 7 years, there is a 1 in 3 chance that the ATV will carry its rider to serious injury or death. That, according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Government experts say it is by far the most dangerous vehicle on the market today.
Unfortunately, the government and biased opinions and reckless owners ended up getting these machines banned. Luckily, one manufacturer came up with an idea that would change the sport forever and keep us out riding.
Great Scott!
That's right, Suzuki. And here's where the beginning of the first ATV came from.
When you map out a great ride, you'd best have a Suzuki Quad Runner. Because when things get bumpy, you'll need the ATV with Suzuki's four-wheel stability. And the convenience of Suzuki's own reverse gear. Take off on the powerful Quad Runner 185, the rugged 125, or the knee-high 50. An entire family of Quad Runners, all with the sensation of Suzuki. Supplier of motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles to the '84 Olympics.
The Quad Runner, or also known as the LT Series ATVs, started production in 1982, being the first ones to introduce a four-wheeled ATV. It had no suspension other than the tires basically. It rode rough, but this was just the evolution of ATVs. ATVs continued to get better after this machine with better suspension, more power, and more options. As more time went by, everything just kept getting better and better for the ATV world. Even the introduction of Quadzilla, also known as the Suzuki LT500R, even by today's standards, is still a major threat to 90% of the machines out there for speed.
This is the amazing Suzuki Quad Sport. It has more headroom than fine American luxury cars. It is faster on rugged terrain than most exotic Italian sports cars. It displays better handling under treacherous conditions than the high-performance sedans of Germany. Now, make your best deal on a Quad Runner, then save even more with factory rebates of up to $150 on selected models during our Save a Watt on a Quad sale. Quad Runners, only from Suzuki.
I told her Suzuki invented Quad Runners for everybody. She said, who cares?
Hey, look, you want her to come out here? You just tell her that riding a Suzuki Quad Runner is like skiing, only uphill. It's like windsurfing without the wind. Tell her it's like flying without leaving the ground.
I'd tell her it'd be more fun if she stayed home.
Yep, things were certainly getting better for this manufacturer and these quads. Suddenly, everybody started making ATVs, and we had all kinds of good stuff growing up from when the first machine started all the way to the current generations. And just like in the past when we had all the friendly competition of these manufacturers fighting each other with three-wheelers, now we had it with all of our brand new ATVs. And as the competition grew just like in the past, Suzuki kept trying to stay on top with their LT series, releasing awesome and fun ATVs such as the LTZ400, a 400cc liquid-cooled machine, 4-stroke, ready to tear up the trails. Yep, this quad was a racer through and through, and it had racing built right into its DNA. The Suzuki LTZ400 had a life of 15 years, starting in 2003 and ending in 2018, with 2 generations of this LTZ. The first generation having stacked headlights, steel frame, and was carbureted. It was like this from 2003 to 2008. Second generation getting a single headlight, different bodywork, brand new aluminum frame, EFI, and piggyback shocks. This machine was awesome. But just like all great stories, they all come to an end. In 2018 was the last year you can get an LTZ400 or LTR 450. But just remember, next time you see a Suzuki, give them thanks for starting the ATV revolution. So did you ever have a Suzuki? Any of the ones mentioned in this video? If so, please leave a comment below. Also, if you can hit that thumbs up button or subscribe to the channel, it means a lot. Also, if you are considering getting an LTR or an LTZ, you're in luck. There's tons still for sale, and if you're looking for a good project and looking for tons of available parts, remember to head over to PeteHager.com, where you can find many accessories, tires, exhausts, skid plates, you name it. Another place is Rocky Mountain ATV and also Alba Racing. let's keep these machines up and going. With these 3 sites alone, it's pretty easy to do. And they all have fast and easy, painless shipping. And with that said, we come to a close. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Let's Rip on the LT series by Suzuki, and stick around for another episode coming in the future.